And we are live. 94 feet of light basketball for the people, by the people. We back. Trade deadline review. It has been a wild, I guess, what is that now? 4 days, really, because the Luka for AD trade was technically Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been a wild 4+ days, as active a trade deadlines I can remember. And of course, the most shocking trade at the very beginning. But Trav in the building, Ron in the building. There were some more moves over the last couple of days. Obviously, nothing. There was one blockbuster. Nothing. I mean, the AD Luka trade is the blockbuster of all blockbusters. But there
Yeah,
was some other moves that were pretty significant. We want to get into it. Trav, what's going on, man?
man. You know what it is, man. Still speechless from the other day. But again, this NBA trade deadline train, it kept going and didn't stop. So nothing as shocking as we thought. Pretty much moves was made. Um, People were satisfied, and at the end of the day, we're gonna see how this last stretch run go with these new players in new places.
Yeah, so let's get in. So let's do. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to do this in about a half an hour. We know folks work is late depending on where you are, so we're gonna do this about a half an hour. And let's go with the first sort of blockbuster. And that was the Jimmy Butler trade to Golden State. So the long story short, Jimmy Butler ends up with Golden State. Andrew Wiggins goes to Miami. Those are like the principles of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody got what they wanted. Jimmy got his money. Jimmy, $121 million for 2 years. Golden State, you not tied to Jimmy. It's only 2 years. You basically got the rest of this season and next season to see what happens. Wiggins gets a fresh start in Miami. I think after the championship, Wiggins had kind of been teetering on that block for a couple years. He gets to go to Miami with a fresh start. I thought the biggest thing with this one, Trav, was the fact that apparently the KD reunion was that there was a couple KD things. KD to Golden State was talked about.
Mm-hmm.
KD maybe ends up in Miami
Mm-hmm.
was on the table. Uh, KD could still end up out of Phoenix this summer. Maybe it's Dallas. So, what'd you think about that move, man?
Again, all you can do is pick up the phone and call. KD anywhere makes you a contender. Don't get it twisted. If you Dallas, it's more firepower. You got a reunion back again. You just got instead of James, you got AD there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool with Dallas. Um, Golden State, you have Jimmy Butler, and then turn around and have KD. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Cause they didn't sign that money to Jimmy. That ain't gonna happen. And with that, I think it was a couple things I read about that, and they were saying like Kevin Durant didn't approve of that, which I
Mm-hmm.
was surprised. I was like,
KD said he don't do reunions.
I ain't gonna do that no more, which is understandable. It's understandable.
Right.
Um, him to Miami, of course, man. Katie fit anywhere. It ain't. Hey, remember when James Harden said, "It ain't me." What he said? He said, "It ain't the system. I'm the system."
Right.
That's KD. Really? James Harden
Yeah.
just said that just to be saying that. KD is when KD there, and if he's in your, if when he's hoping for you, KD gonna KD.
KD is the easiest superstar to fit on a team.
Cause he's just a hooper. He's a hooper.
Yeah.
All he want to do is play basketball.
I think what's interesting from the Golden State point of view, I get it, but I don't get it. And I so here's where I get it. You got Steph. Steph Curry will be 37 in next month. Realistically, I think we talking 2 years, maybe. Let's just go two solidly. And you trying to stretch out that timeline and maybe see if you can get into the playoffs. Maybe you take more run at it. So I get it from that point of view. I also don't get it from Golden State is that Jimmy does a lot of good things on the court. The one thing he doesn't do, he's not a great three-ball shooter. And Golden State this year, which is ironic because of what we've known them for so many years, Golden State is a poor shooting team.
This year they are. This year.
They are a poor shooting team. So even if you think Jimmy provides some of the toughness, maybe some of the playmaking, some of the big shot ability at mid-range and that post, it's going to be real interesting to see how they fit because when you talk about Jimmy, Draymond, and Kuminga, those are three guys who want to play inside. They want to play inside the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they make this fit? Apart from the fact, and we know about the personality of Jimmy. So I get Golden State was looking for another star, but I don't know if Jimmy was the fit.
I think at the end of the day, the cancer had to go by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Is Golden State a culture to where some players can go and can rejuvenate themselves and can just make themselves different? Yes, I think so. I think they have it. I mean, it has been proved. I mean, you didn't see people that didn't go there. We didn't see the JaVale McGee's and
Mm-hmm.
Swaggy P's and oh, we didn't seen a cast of people go to state and it worked. It worked. So all I know is this. Jimmy Butler's in a situation where he doesn't. I'm going to say this for the people in the back too. He's going somewhere to the fact that where he doesn't have to be the lead dog.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you to score 40. I don't need you to score 30. I need you to just get buckets the way you get buckets. And that's Jimmy Butler is at best at that. I've been preaching this to you all. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all still believe in playoff Jimmy and all this stuff like that. Playoff Jimmy ain't playoff Jimmy in the regular season.
Mm.
He's not. And I keep telling y'all this, but who am I? I'm just a regular Joe just watching the game, just a little bit better than you all. Sorry, I'm going to say it. But again, Jimmy Butler's been at best when he's not the best.
Yeah, I think that's his best. I do think he's going to have a little bit more work to do than what I think we think, especially until Kuminga comes back.
Oh, yeah. He is big shot. He got to pull a load now. We ain't pulling no extension for 2 years, 121 million.
Yeah, you're going to have to come in there. Yeah.
Just for you to leave Miami. We ain't doing that. No.
Yeah, you gotta act right.
No, you gotta act right and you gotta work.
You gotta work. So another deal, my favorite deal of today was DeAndre Hunter to Cleveland.
That's a nice move. That is a nice move.
If you look at what Cleveland and what I like about this for Tuesday, number one, Cleveland having a great year. instead of saying we'll just let it play out, we'll see how it go. No, go get you another piece.
Give me another.
Get you another piece to really try to strengthen your run. And you look at Cleveland, they got the two guard, they got Garland and Mitchell, they got Mobley, they got Allen. DeAndre Hunter, even if he stays in that 6-man role, fits that 4 perfectly. He's exactly what they need as the 5th to go with that 4. I love it. I think it's a great move.
I like it because you get another live player. That's how excuse me. That's how Cleveland has been beating a lot of people. All 5 players on the floor are live. They going to do something. You leave them open, they're gonna knock down a shot. Or they can get to the basket and score.
Yeah.
Including Allen. On the defensive end, they protecting the rim. They playing good defense. They just playing basketball the right way, and the record shows.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all 5 players, every player that you put on the floor, it ain't somebody that you can be like, oh, let me sag off, or oh, let me help. Let me do this. No. Believe me, you leave them open, they're going to make you pay.
Make you pay. So I like that move. Another move. Now, this just shows you why I'm not a GM. This is why I ain't no GM. The Lakers needed a big. After the Luka for AD trade, we all know they needed a big man. They needed a big man before that trade. They really needed one after. They get Mark Williams from the Hornets. Solid big.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the tripped out part about this trade. Number one, they traded Dalton Knecht, who was one of the young players they'd be like, maybe they should hold on to. But they traded 2 first-round picks along with Dalton Knecht. And even though these are picks further down the line, the Lakers had to give up 2 first-round picks as part of that trade. Dallas only traded, the Lakers only had to know. I'm trying to make sure I phrase this correctly. The Luka trade only came with 1 first-round pick. So Luke, in a trade involving Luka Doncic, there was only 1 first-round pick involved.
Mm-hmm.
In a trade for a serviceable big man, it was 2 firsts.
2 firsts.
This is why I'm not a GM, because I don't understand how this works. Apparently, I don't know how this works.
The Lakers gonna be the Lakers no matter what. At the end of the day, they gonna be the Lakers, man. This is writing on the wall. Number 23. It's a wrap. They're telling you this with motion. It's either one or 2 things, man. You're gonna either end your season after this season, or you're gonna end your season after this season. It's just that, dude. You already have the person to put the tails in seats. You got that in Luke.
Right.
You bring in a big man after a power forward been begging you to bring one in for 3 years. He's been telling you this. Going on 4 years, he's been telling you this. Now you bring him, but he's gone. This is a guy that LeBron wanted again. You got his son there. You got all these other players. The Lakers are... It ain't too many times that you say the Lakers are somewhat doomed. But they walk in a fine line between rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
They walk in a fine line. Can Luka bring some magic there? Yeah. But that's it.
That's it. I think this Laker, I think they know for this season, I don't think this is. I think. I think. I mean, you go. You're trying to make a run. We get it, but I think this is the setup for next year. I don't think this is the setup for we're gonna make a run at it this year. Uh, Other trades, we have Zach LaVine ends up in Sacramento.
Yes, sir.
Ends up in Sacramento. And speaking of Sacramento, we would be remiss if we didn't get your thoughts on a trade that was
Talk
near
to me.
dear to your heart.
24-13 last night, man.
Talk about it. The De'Aaron
I think that's
Fox
the last one
to
I
the
seen.
Spurs.
Lovely pick. We've been talking about that in the group for the longest. When it first started, it'd be a rumor. When I think when it really hit me, like we really finna get him, is when he said he wanted to play with Wembanyama. That let me know. Ain't too many times as me being a fan of the Spurs that I seen somebody say that in public, like I want to play for somebody for the Spurs.
Right.
That's letting me know that Wembanyama is a attraction now.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had that. I don't think the Spurs never had that type of attraction.
You've never heard somebody open. You've heard people say, "I would like to play with Tim Duncan."
Yeah.
But you've never heard someone say, "I want to go to San Antonio."
I want to go to San Antonio. I never heard of it. I never heard it. Of course, a while back we had Tracy McGrady trying to ride the gravy train for the ring. That was in 13.
Yeah.
David West came there. That was Paul. Paul Gasol came there. We didn't have people come there, but you never just heard it outright like, I want to go to San Antonio.
Right. A young star in his prime said, "I want to go to San Antonio."
I want to go to San Antonio. That's letting me know that Wembanyama is making the San Antonio Spurs an attraction.
Yeah.
And that's what you need when you're a small market team. Somebody that has an attraction because you can get little things like that. He played very good his first game against Atlanta. Very good. I was impressed. Again, I think last time I seen it was like 24-13. He had like one turnover.
Yeah,
So,
that's that pick and roll. They're gonna be able to run with those.
and they ran that thing to the T. That especially that last play when when Wembanyama tried to dunk it on dude, and he got pushed, and it was like 2.4 seconds left. Hit the first one. He intentionally missed the second one so they can get the ball and heave it. They end up winning by one. But just the way the floor looked now, and when you get that handoff, that screen handoff with Wembanyama and Fox, and as fast as Fox is turning that corner, and then you got Wemby running that thing on the back end, it's 2 points either off the layup or off the tip dunk. So, yes, De'Aaron Fox, great pickup by the Spurs. Great pickup.
That's a great pickup. A couple other interesting ones. So Brandon Ingram gets traded to Toronto.
Interesting.
I think,
Interesting.
Now, the one thing I say about New Orleans, I really hope that they let Willie Green code come back, because injuries have really just wrecked the season from like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ingram, Zion,
now DeJounte
Murray. I saw a stat. Ingram, Murray, and Zion never played together the whole season. Literally not 1 minute.
That's crazy.
So I think for Ingram, it's a new start. It'll be interesting to see if Brandon Ingram ends up staying there.
Mm-hmm.
But he need another star. I think New Orleans was kind of hitting the reset button. Some other trades that happened.
Names on
Shout out to the shout out to the Washington Wizards who would just take whatever you send us.
purgatory, basketball purgatory is here in DC, man. That's messed up how they sending these folks to DC like that, man. First you seeing Middleton, now you seeing Marcus Smart. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
We just gonna send you our stuff. Washington. If Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton play for the Wizards, I'll be surprised.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
But we'll just take whatever bad contracts, players you don't want. It's cool. We'll trade it.
We'll take care of it for you.
And then you got Dennis Schroeder, aka Black Luke Rittenauer. They just keep trading you around the league.
Here's what I don't understand. I mean, we take history class, right?
Yeah.
We the ones that was somewhat, we could be like, hey, it's like slavery. This man that crossed the overseas, how do you know what slavery? How do you know what slavery is?
First of all, Dennis. Dennis, in slavery, you don't get to change plantations.
No.
The plantation they put you on, you stay at that one till you die or run away.
You die. They may market you. They'll market it. I mean, but nah. He ain't like that.
Man, Dennis, nah.
Nah, man.
That ain't it, Dennis. I know what you were trying to say, but no.
Yes, the German history books are way different than the United States history books. It's different. It's different.
So let me ask you this: with all the movement that happened, is there anybody who made a move Trad that you like? This changes your outlook for this season. Like, is there anybody who made a move and you're like, okay, for the playoffs, this is something, or do you think not too much has really changed as far as like favorite in the East or favorite in the West?
That's what I was about to. I'm going with the latter of what you said. As a fan of the Spurs, I think this gives us a push to the play.
Mm-hmm.
The Aaron Fox give us a push to the play. Who was that? Did we pick? We picked up somebody else too. I can't think of the guy's name, but that's neither here or there. But De'Aaron Fox is the main one that I'm like, we make it sneak to ninth place. Better yet,
I think for the Spurs, you don't want to waste any of Wemby's time.
You don't, because if he gets to, I'm gonna tell you like this: if Wembanyama talks, it's over with for San Antonio.
Right.
It's over with. You treat him as he is Tim Duncan.
Right.
You treat him with respect. You give him the things close to what he needs. Because again, you do not want to waste his time.
Right.
I don't think the Spurs have not wasted a number one draft pick's time in David Robinson. You haven't wasted the time with Tim Duncan. This is not the time to waste Wembanyama's time.
Right. So you figure the Spurs right now, as we taping this, sit 2 games out of the play-in, but they're obviously a much improved team. I think it is important for the Spurs to get into the play-in. I think you have to make those incremental steps to not only just for Wemby, but I think when you have a talent generation like Wemby, You got to keep showing progress,
You
even though
got
you're like,
to.
oh well, he's young. No, even though he's young,
That's
you
not
don't.
mm,
You keep making those improvements.
you get him what you give him what he needs to improve.
Yeah.
He just
Now
he's just that.
the team that I think now we talk about the Spurs making that move, making the move they made. A team to me that now usually you look at you like it could get real dicey in Phoenix because now you got two guys, KD and Beal, who now it is a known secret whether we initiated the talks or not. We tried to make a move with you, and it didn't happen. So now you're dealing with Brad Beal, who's been very unhappy but the Bradley Beal trade just we just can say it now. It just didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. So Phoenix holding on to that last playing spot. It could get dicey in Phoenix. And I think playing or not, this offseason, you're gonna hear their name in a lot of things in the offseason.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think you're gonna hear a lot. And you might well add Booker to that, man.
If I am Phoenix, anybody but anybody but Devin.
And I mean it's gonna be tough because understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this. 2020, they made a historic bubble run.
Yeah.
That's when I mean they almost made it. Like they won like 8 or 9 straight, right?
Right. Almost got into the playoffs.
Almost got into the playoffs. Almost. The following year, make it to the finals,
Made it to the finals, lost to Giannis.
and then it's been declining ever since.
Yep.
For him to taste that type of success, he's thinking, and Book is what, 28?
28, yeah.
He's
Still in his
prime.
prime.
He's still in prime.
Still in his prime.
He's not looking at, well, I go to the playoffs and finals. I down there missed the playoffs to the finals and then just declining like that? No.
Yeah.
No. We got to do something. Look, yes, Bill, it's gonna be talks. KD, you just heard talks of KD.
Mm-hmm.
Booker don't want, man, you can't do that. You can't do that to Booker.
Now, we talked about Washington taking everybody's bad stuff. Kuzma to Milwaukee to me is, I guess my question with that is if you got Bobby Portis, what's the point of Kyle Kuzma? They both kind of that undersized,
4-3
undersized stretch 4.
That 4-3 type dimension.
Yeah.
Type deal. Which is kind of what they like, though. It's kind of what they like.
I guess you surround Giannis with more shooting, but I don't know if that. I mean, I think that move really, especially if you were trying to get rid of Chris Middleton, okay. I don't think that move really, that doesn't really move me. You know what I'm saying?
Kuzma, I think Kuzma is only good as his environment.
Right. So here's what's going to be the thing. I think it's going to be for Kuzma. You've just kind of been in Washington for the last 4 years, just doing whatever.
Doing whatever you want.
Now you go to a team in Milwaukee that's like, listen, with Dame, Giannis, Portis, like these are guys who have played deep into the playoffs, still could think they make a run. All that silliness you was doing in Washington ain't gonna fly.
They gonna fly. The only silliness that you're gonna get away with is your wardrobe. That's
And
the only,
even that they might not let that rock too much.
they may not. It may get cold enough in Milwaukee for him to wear that big coat he had.
Now, the team who I think really should have made a move, I really think the Knicks should have done something. The Knicks they did some minor move, but they didn't answer the one thing, and we've talked about this with the Knicks. After that starting five, what else you got?
I think here's the thing with the Knicks. I know we passed our time, but it's just a lot of things we got to
Yeah,
talk.
we're gonna wrap it up, but go ahead, keep going.
The thing with the Knicks is they can't give up nothing to get something. Anything that who you gonna get? Okay, we're not touching your two all-stars.
Of course.
Get out of there. Josh Hart. You're not gonna get rid of him because he's a motor.
Too important.
Too important for the team. You just got Mikal Bridges. OG just got hurt.
Right.
What else you got to offer?
Yeah, you're right. They don't really have not to offer, but
They supposed to came off something to get some. You supposed to went out the Lonzo Ball or something.
they needed two. They needed a backup guard and a backup front court player.
They need it.
Because I just think that depth that they don't have. I think it comes back. It's coming back to really. It's gonna come back to hurt them, and you end up in a series that's a long series with somebody. We saw it happen to them last year.
Yep.
Happened last year. And you get, they played, it was Philadelphia. They beat Philadelphia in the first round, but it was a physical.
It was a dog
physical,
fight. It was a dog fight.
It was physical. It was a dog fight. And when they got to Indiana, Indiana got to running them up and down that floor. By the time they got to Game 7 with the Pacers, they ain't had nothing. And if you look at the way the East is shaking out right now, you might have Boston, New York in the second round. And they don't have enough. And that five can only play for so long.
Right, because because Boston is 8 to 9 easy.
Yeah. 8 to 9 easy. On the West side, I'm Oklahoma City. I was good with them not doing nothing big. Memphis, I was good with them not doing nothing big. Houston, I think Oklahoma, Memphis, and Houston standing pat for the most part. I mean, doing some little fringe move. I think I was okay with that.
Yeah. I think the West was the people who needed to make the moves in the West was basically like your 5 and belows.
Yeah, the Lakers made a move. I liked it. We talked about Golden State. I think Sacramento. If you're Sacramento, I think you're trying to get out of that play-in mode. I like what they did. But the team I thought in the West, so I really would have been like, would have been Denver.
You would think that, but I think more health. The health is the thing with Denver. Their health is going to get them where they need to go. they probably make a move next year.
Yeah, I think Denver's definitely on watch because I mean, I mean, just 2 years ago they won the chip, but I feel like there's a whether it's Michael Porter Jr. and really it's Michael Porter Jr. is the one who I just think this is kind of what he is. You know,
He's the most attractive player to put in a trade, being that he's young, tall, somewhat athletic, can shoot the basketball. He's just a it's attractive to throw it out there.
somebody you could convince somebody to look at him and say,
Right.
I can do something with that.
Yeah, they can work with him. He
Right.
will fit somebody else's team.
Um, well, we're
But
gonna wrap. Yeah, go ahead.
but the thing about it is, if he leaves Denver like that, they kind of put Denver in hold.
Now I'm gonna tell
That's
you
why they
this:
can't move him like that.
if you look at what this West playoffs could look like, I'm gonna tell you this. Didn't as much as I don't think they are a title contender, despite making the incredible trade. But I will tell you, a Luca and LeBron is a really tough first round matchup, especially if you get it against one of these younger teams that don't have quite the experience. And like right now, looking at LA at the 5, LA is the 5th seed right now. They're a game and a half behind Denver at 9, and they're 2 games behind Houston at 3. If I am Houston, I would be very wary of playing the Lakers in the first round, simply because Houston got a lot to like, but they're young.
They're young,
They are young.
they're young. And one thing we done seen in these playoffs, youth ain't gonna make it.
Young. When you talk about playing in a series against those two, when you talk about Luka and LeBron, Luka's young, but Luka done been there,
You've been
done
there,
that.
been there, done.
We know LeBron's track record
Been there, done that.
against an inexperienced playoff team. If you can't avoid people because it's the playoff. But if I'm Houston,
Mm-hmm. It'll be very interesting.
very, very interesting. But look, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Trade line recap. I think the second half of the season is gonna get interesting because you got obviously the big trade, but as I talked about, I thought Cleveland for the really good trade. We're gonna see how that works. So the Jimmy Butler, how does he fit? So there's definitely some things in the second half of the season that we looking forward to. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube, notifications on, Facebook group, 94 Feet of Life, basketball for the people, by the people, Trav in the building, Ron in the building, shout out J Ham, Coach MJ, Coach Les, basketball for the people.